G'day. No car will be able to do more than 25 laps on a set of tyres here in Qatar. Is this rule crazy or justified? The Lusail circuit is the only track where tyre manufacturer Pirelli has set a maximum number of laps allowed on a set of tyres. And that number? 25. This is a precaution as the Lusail circuit features 3 corners that put tyres under incredible pressure. Which corners? Turns 12, 13 and 14. These are quick. Drivers are travelling at more than 300 kilometres an hour, and that's 186 miles an hour. They're pulling 4.5 Gs, and the curbs are downright nasty. And with drivers placing their cars on these curbs at speed, the pressure on the tyres is so great that Pirelli has deemed that 25 laps is the most that any tyre can be relied upon. After that, they can't vouch for the tyre's safety. Now, Sunday's race is 57 laps, so every car will have to stop twice, like they had to in Monaco this year. But that wasn't due to tyre issues, that was to spice up the racing. And did that work? No, it did not. It made it worse. So what laps are included in the 25? Everything except the formation lap, the laps to the grid, and the laps after the checkered flag. And that's in both the feature and the sprint race. Let's look at the sprint race. It's only 19 laps, so you'd think the drivers won't have to stop for a tyre change. But wait, if they use a set of tyres in the race that have been used in sprint qualifying for more than 6 laps, they will have to stop. This is obviously something the teams are aware of, and they record how many laps each set of tyres have done, so they'll be right on top of that. In a recent Mercedes video, Andrew Cullen, who is the trackside engineering director, pointed out something worth watching out for, and I'll get to that in a second. But first, I need to thank Bitdefender for sponsoring this video. Of course, I'm in Qatar for the second last race of the year, and with the recent double disqualification for McLaren, the championship within an arm's reach, the F1 world is frantic. Social media's abuzz. My phone's blowing up, and I'm eager to keep you guys as informed as possible. Therefore, I'll be spending even more time on my devices, but I won't have to worry because I use Bitdefender. Bitdefender's premium security not only provides advanced threat defense, it also offers secure password management, email protection, and unlimited VPN. So I know I'm in good hands when it comes to potential cyber attacks. Bitdefender also has an incredible feature called Scam Protection, which is AI run and can give me answers in seconds. If I receive a link or a message that seems a little suspicious, all I have to do is copy and paste it into the chat, and voila, total peace of mind with the click of a button. Tap the link in the description below to find out more and take advantage of Bitdefender's free 90-day trial. Now back to Andrew Cullen. In a recent video, he pointed out something that would be both amazing and very rare, and it could play out on Sunday. Specifically, if we get a safety car, say 27 laps from the end of the race, all the cars would bunch up, and the moment we got to 25 laps before the end of the race, all 20 cars would most likely come into pit lane, change their tyres, and then race to the end. Can you imagine the mayhem? If all 20 cars came in that very short time window, it'd be sensational to witness. So I'll be shooting from the paddock club above pit lane, looking down like I did in 2023 when Lando set the world's fastest pit stop of 1.8 seconds. If I was shooting those pit stops from the pit wall, I'd see behind them these digital signs, and that's something we don't often see at races. Digital signage above the garages, and each of the garages has the driver's name, in English and in Arabic. A lot of you in my live stream were asking who I think is going to win the championship. Well, I think Lando Norris has to win it. If he doesn't, he's lost it. Nobody else has won that championship. Yes, he's got Max breathing down his neck, and to a lesser extent Oscar, who's a bit off the boil at the moment. But on Sunday night, if Lando is 26 points ahead of the other two or more, he has won the championship, and we'll be celebrating on Sunday night here in Doha at the paddock. Yesterday in the media pen, Lando was relaxed. He mentioned that after the drama of the disqualification last weekend, it sucks. That's life. And how did he find out about it? Well, he was 20 minutes into his flight from Vegas before he got the message, and I imagine he would have been a bit dark about the whole issue. But yesterday, quite philosophical and just focused on the task ahead. After all, he still leads the championship, and the bookmakers have him as odds-on favourite. Some of you are asking about Angela Cullen. Is she still with Lewis Hamilton? Well, yes. That is the case. And yesterday, unusually, she was in casual clothing for most of the day, and I don't know why, but certainly it was an unusual sight for her to be in casual gear for most of the day. Going back to the track, oh, and by the way, this picture here, what's this all about? I will tell you shortly. But the actual Lusail Track is about 20 minutes drive from my hotel here in Lusail. It's along I think it's a 6-lane highway each way. Traffic is fantastic out and back, very quick, but pretty much there's nothing around that area. And when you come from, say, a track like we have come from in Vegas, where there's lots of pretty lights surrounding the track and photographically it's visually rich, it can be a little bit dull out in there. It's a little bit like Bahrain because the back of the circuit is pretty much just track and lights. There's not much to put into the background, but it's still going to be a hellishly exciting weekend, and I imagine that it'll have record viewer numbers watching around the world. I had to laugh too. I saw some social media influencers talking about the Vegas race saying it only had 1.5 million viewers, and all that mess in Vegas for 1.5 million viewers. But what they're failing to take into account is the fact that worldwide there was 50+ million people watching, and that's the audience that Las Vegas wanted to get across. Those 50+ million people outside of the US who don't know anything about the city, and I think they probably were pretty happy with the cut-through. Now, still in Las Vegas, a number of you noticed on this picture that Lily, Alex's girlfriend, had a hip flask over her shoulder. Why would she have a hip flask? In fact, it wasn't a hip flask. It was a Calvin Klein scent. So those of you eagle-eyed people who picked up on that, rest easy. Were you surprised to hear that James Vowles will be racing in the Gulf 12-hour event in Abu Dhabi the week after the final race? I was. He has raced in his past life. He's done 4 rounds of the Asian Le Mans Series back in 2022. And this race, he'll be driving a Garage 56 prepared McLaren GT3 Evo. Good luck, James. And on the subject of alcohol, can you drink here in this country? Yes, you can. At establishments like this hotel, many others, you can get a drink. It's not cheap, but you can certainly get a drink. You can't bring alcohol in with you. There is no inbound alcohol duty-free sales at the airport, but there is outbound duty-free sales. Are you aware of the Clinkers TikTok fad? Well, this is an Australian sweet, and essentially when you bite into them, you'll get one of 3 colours. Well, I got Ted a number of packets because his daughter wanted some, and I can tell you in Australia that these are very hard to find. My wife had to place 3 or 4 orders, and in the end, because every order kept getting cancelled, she had to pay the black market rate. But I can assure you Ted's girls were very excited to get them and enjoyed them for breakfast. Now, what is this all about? I'm over here at the Waldorf Astoria for something a little unusual, because this gentleman here is a tailor. He's measuring me up for one of these magnificent Thobes, which I could wear to the track one day. I don't think I could shoot the whole day, but I'd certainly wear it entering the paddock for some sort of impact.
We're gonna get him a qatra and agal to wear it, so the full traditional wear of Qatar.
Some of the drivers are coming to the function tonight, and they might look at me twice dressed in this. Oh, this should be quite a scene tonight. You might remember that a couple of years ago, Lando Norris wore something similar, or was it the same? I can't remember. The pictures here will tell you. To day 1 of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in recognition of a mate of his. Covers this?
Yes. Always top covers these things.
Yeah. Well, this is many years of good eating and not enough exercise. This will translate into a magnificent Thobe. I'm getting my own one. Well, Jace is midway through his measuring, and I would have thought that he would need a little bit less cloth than me because of my girth, but apparently it's based on your height, and he's a centimetre taller. Well, I'm told that most of the government people get their Thobes made by this man, so we're in good hands, we believe. Now, it's off to the track. Well, this is the end result, my Thobe. It's beautiful and comfortable, but the thing is, you can see my black underwear underneath if you push it tight. But I imagine on a hot day, it's quite spectacular, and the material is gorgeous, and it's got backwards pockets. Interesting pockets. There's a little pleat here, 3 buttons and a pocket. Yeah, but I'm not wearing it for the function tonight. I will keep this for another event. Now, before I go, I'll ask one favour of you, for those not subscribed, and that's probably about 50% of you watching. Could you please hit that subscribe button, or at the very least, like this video. And for a whole lot of extra F1 content, merchandise and stuff, this is where you need to look. Thanks for watching, and stay passionate. I don't do that.